pen test is pretty well known, right? I think in today's world, I don't know if everyone knows exactly what it is, but it's short for penetration testing. The goal is really for an organization, and there's a misunderstanding, but the real goal of penetration testing is to provide an environment safely or under some safe constraints where an attacker or a simulated attacker will try and gain access to a network, an application, or also could be like just trying to get access to a building, right? I see, Matthew there, you have a building behind you, right? And that could be a hotel or a convention center. It might be locked up at night, but someone might know that there's expensive equipment in there. They might want to find a way to break into that building. I've heard and also contracted myself individuals to come in and do simulated pen tests for access to buildings, right? So this is kind of like a wide conversation in regards to pen testing, but we're going to get into more simplistic understanding in this presentation. When should you perform penetration tests? There's all different schools of thoughts on when, frequency. I've been in companies where we've hired pen testers and they're doing penetration tests, application level penetration tests weekly. In other cases, you might have a compliance requirement, you do it once a year. I don't think that really gets much value for individuals. I'm not saying don't do it, but if you perform it once a year, if I was the one in the shoes doing the pen test, I'd be really concerned, how secure am I the other 364 days out of that year, right? No environment is static for 364 days, whether that's people, whether that's technology or other things involved. You sort of get a little concerned if you're really just trying to meet the minimum requirements, right? And there's other things. If you're in PCI, I think PCI, which is related to credit cards, they require after significant changes to your application or infrastructure. You could want to do it after a security incident. That's sort of a little bit too late. You could do it on a regular basis, like I said, weekly, or even maybe it's part of your software development lifecycle and you're doing it before deployment. You might have a way to automate a pen test, and then that gets you to a certain level of comfort, and someone manually could do a couple other things to optimize that schedule so that you can have an effective coverage, right? Pen testing is really a coverage tool for the security of your infrastructure, your application, or whatever else you can apply that to. Okay, here's some tools that a pen tester might use, some automated tools: Nmap, Metasploit, Burp Suite, Wireshark, SQL Map. These are sort of a lot of open source available tools. There's a lot of commercial tools as well. Something else like a Hydra, which helps with password cracking, Netcat, Aircrack, GoBuster, and maybe you leverage a social media and social engineering toolkit for the example that I gave, trying to gain access to a building. I remember a long time ago, we did a pen test and we hired this person to come on site. They gained access to the building, which they shouldn't have because of the security system. Then they were able to put a USB device in an administrator's computer and was able to sniff and capture administrative passwords, right? So the stuff is kind of real. I also remember floating around on the internet, people used to share a power strip that, a device looked just like a power strip, but actually was a Wi-Fi. So somebody slipped it into an office, they left the power strip, no one thought any different about it, but then people were connecting to this Wi-Fi because it was similar to the one that existed, and it was a lot of man-in-the-middle and other type of attacks that they could perform because they had control of the network. Okay, here's the average salary for a pen tester. Good skill. In many places, you can get much, much higher than this average salary, but depending on your level of certification, your industry, the type of company that you're working for, according to Indeed, we're talking about $125,000 a year, and that's pretty good for an average salary.